Hi Year 9, me again, back with Respiration Screencast 2. Today we're going to look at how the circulatory system is involved in respiration. Hopefully by now you know how this works and you've got both of your knowledge organiser sheets and your question sheet in front of you. So your success criteria for today is to be able to name the parts of the circulatory system, to be able to describe the path the blood takes around the body, and to be able to explain why the heart is known as a double pump. So the part of the knowledge organiser we'll be looking at today is the first sheet, but over to the right hand side as shown in the picture. By the end of this session, hopefully you'll be able to answer these summary questions. You're looking for the three main types of blood vessel and what are the main differences between them. The structures that separate the top and bottom parts of the heart and why they're really important. Why are capillaries so small and what are their main functions? And what will blood be like in your lung capillaries compared with those found next to muscle cells? So the circulatory system consists of the heart and all of the blood vessels. Their job is to pump blood around the body. Why? So just to recap, we have one of our reactants for respiration is from the digestive system, that's glucose. We also need one of our reactants from our respiratory system, oxygen. We have two waste products that are exhaled. Can you remember what these are? That's right, carbon dioxide and water. And finally, the thing we need, why all this happens, is energy, or ATP. So, the circulatory system is really important in getting this oxygen around the body to where it's needed. We're going to have a look at how that happens now. So the heart has got lots of different structures that all work together to get this oxygen around the body in the blood to where it's needed. The heart's made up of 4 chambers. We have the right atrium, the right ventricle, the left atrium and the left ventricle. Between the right atrium and the right ventricle, and the same on the left, are these things called valves. Valves are really important because they stop the blood flowing the wrong way. Without valves, the blood could move in the opposite direction and the heart wouldn't function as efficiently as it should. So, the blood travels on a path and it only flows in one direction around the heart. We're going to start here with the aorta. The aorta is a blood vessel that sends the blood out and around the body. All of the blood on the left side of the heart contains oxygen. That's because the blood comes in from the pulmonary vein. Pulmonary meaning from the lungs. So the blood comes in here, it goes into the left atrium, it passes through a valve, down to the left ventricle, up through another valve, and up and out to the body via the aorta. Once the blood's been around the body and it's exchanged its oxygen and it's picked up carbon dioxide, the blood comes back to the heart via the vena cava. So the blood comes in to the right atrium, passes through that valve, down through the right ventricle, up through the other valve, and out to the pulmonary artery, which is going to take blood back to the lungs. This time the blood's deoxygenated, which means it doesn't contain as much oxygen. And so then the blood is able to pick up oxygen and begin its cycle all over again, arriving back to the heart via the pulmonary artery. And just a little note down here, we haven't made a mistake. The right and the left side of a person whose heart it is. So we've labelled this as if we're looking at a heart inside another person. as you'll notice the left is on our right and the right is on our left. So, blood vessels then. We have three main blood vessels in our body. We have arteries, we have veins, and we have capillaries which connect both veins and arteries. An artery pumps blood at high pressure, so we need thick, elastic walls for our artery. The middle is a space called the lumen, and the lumen in the artery is quite thin compared to the vein. That's because this blood has to flow under high pressure, and they contain thick layers of muscle which makes them strong, and the elastic fibres allow them to stretch and spring right back. The veins have a much bigger space in the middle of them. They have a large lumen and very little muscle wall. Veins, interestingly, contain valves. Like the heart, they stop the blood flowing in the wrong direction. The blood in veins flows at low pressure, so the walls don't need to be as thick. As we've said, they've got a bigger lumen and space, and the blood flows under low pressure. Once again, the valves keep the blood flowing in the right direction. Capillaries connect veins and arteries together. They carry the blood really close to every single cell in the body and allow substances to be exchanged. They have permeable walls, which means that substances can pass in and out of these capillaries, and the walls are usually only 1 cell thick, and this helps with the rate of diffusion, and it makes it really efficient so that cells and the blood can exchange the products that they really need. So what we've got here is we've got an artery and a vein taken using an electron micrograph. As you can see, the artery has got this thick muscular wall in this pinky red colour, and around the outside you can also see that it's got a thick band of supportive tissue. The vein, on the other hand, has got a very thin muscular wall, and its tissue around the outside is also a lot thinner. Veins can be quite flexible, where arteries can be quite strong due to the blood flowing through at high pressure. So here's some exam questions. These are very similar in terms of what you might get at GCSE. Being able to do them in Year 9 just makes it even better. So what we've got a diagram showing the blood supply in the lungs. We've got some structures, H, G and F. It's asking you first of all to name the blood vessels. To do that, you need to look at the direction that the arrows are flowing, because that's going to give you a clue about what's going on. So the blood here is moving into the alveoli. These are the capillaries around the alveoli before the blood is then moving away again. So 3 structures, name F, G and H. Question 2. Give one way in which the composition of the blood in F is different to H. So at F, the blood's entering into the capillaries around the alveoli, and at H, it's leaving. So think about which gases have been exchanged here. Question 3. 3 diagrams, which blood vessels are which? And then question 4, describe the job of blood vessel B. Using the information on your sheets and in this screencast, hopefully you'll be able to work those out. Question 5 is again asking you to think about some blood vessels. Blood vessel A, blood vessel B and blood vessel C. Use the arrows to think about which direction the blood is moving in. Question 6. Describe the job of the circulatory system. You've got plenty of information to help you with that. And question 7. Give 2 ways in which the composition of blood changes as it flows through the blood vessels labelled X on the diagram. Similar to question 2. Have a think about what's going on here. So hopefully, now that we've gone through this screencast, you'll be able to answer these questions. What are the 3 main types of blood vessel and the main differences between them? What are the structures that separate the top and the bottom parts of the heart, and why are they so important? Why are capillaries so small, and what is their main job? And how does the composition of blood differ in your lungs compared with those found next to muscle cells? Good luck, and thanks for listening again.